भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we welcome all the devotees for the last session of this Bharata Upakhyana, the life, 3 lives of the great King Bharata and his realizations and the lessons he gave us through these 3 lifetimes. This portion of Bhagavatam is amazing. Last week we were discussing Uddhava Gita. Then I felt Uddhava Gita is so amazing. Then when we deeply study this portion, Bharata Upakhyana, then we feel these chapters are very amazing, wonderful. So each and every portion of Srimad Bhagavatam is so full and rich with wonderful nectarian messages and realizations. Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam sukhamukad amrita dravya samyutam pipada bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho. This wonderful nectar from the lotus lips of Shukadev Maharshi. Pipata Bhagavatam Rasam. We have to simply drink. Amazing. You know, if we sit with this book for half an hour, 1 hour, and very deeply dwell into those subject matters, it really makes an impression. It influences a lot. So beautiful. And in the same way, this Jataparata's episode which we are going through from yesterday, you know, amazing how he was completely non-reactive. People were insulting, you know, he was finally laid in front of Mother Kali and he was about to get killed. Even Kali could not tolerate that, and Kali broke and came out of her Vigraha. Jataparata was very peaceful, unless a person has got a strong conviction deep inside his mind, inside, you know, within himself. He cannot be so self-composed. Very difficult to be self-composed, completely mastering ourselves. The art of mastering our mind, art of controlling the senses, being non-reactive at provoking situation, not very easy. Only personalities like this, especially Jataparata, was completely self-composed. Amazing. Then after this Kali incident, Jataparata did not go back to his home. He decided, I am not welcomed at my house. Then he immediately left the village. We should not, if certain things, you know, are not very pleasant, then we should not further push it. So Jataparata left the village and he started roaming like a nomad, collecting knowledge which will help him for realization. It's an amazing thing. Then he became like a treasure hunt. He went on a knowledge hunt. And what kind of knowledge? That particular portion of knowledge which will help him in realizing it. It's very important. Mind can think only about certain things where the senses will dwell. Mind cannot think on certain topics where the senses won't dwell. Now, all the dear listeners of this talk, can you meditate on Mocha Picchu? Can you all meditate on Mocha Picchu for next 1 minute? Is it possible to meditate on Mocha Picchu for 1 minute? You cannot meditate on Mocha Picchu because you don't know what is Mocha Picchu. You don't know whether it is an eatable, or it is a name of a village, or it's a name of a person, or is it a theory? You don't even know what is Mocha Picchu, and I also don't know what is Mocha Picchu. So, since we don't have any information on Mocha Picchu, we cannot meditate on Mocha Picchu. It is very simple. Only on subject matter where the senses are dwelling again and again will get registered in mind. So, senses becomes the gateway for mind. If you don't want your mind to get inside alcohol, don't want the mind to get inside for meat eating, don't want mind to get inside on a disturbed relationship, just shut the senses for some time. Close the door. Shut the senses from dwelling in that topic for some time. Mind will be free from that topic. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu pajayate. If you don't do dhyana on that subject, then the senses, the mind cannot do meditation on it. So, realizing this fact, Jataparata started traveling all over the kingdom, collecting for positive knowledge which will help him only in realization and nothing else. Only that which will help him in realization. That means you don't have to be a trash box of unnecessary information. Like you have a trash box, garbage bin in your house, you will throw everything, all unnecessary things. This is what is happening to a modern man. Morning to night he is on internet collecting all the unnecessary information. Somebody killed somebody cheated someone raped someone, this has happened, that has happened, and we collect all the information. And do you think the information will not work on you? Amazing realization spoken by Shakespeare. Shakespeare said this once. An advocate, lawyer, who was speaking umpteen number of lies throughout his life, one day got promoted and became the judge. It is foolishness to expect that the judge will not speak a lie. He had been a lawyer for last 30 years and he was speaking lies after lies, and suddenly one day he got promoted and became a judge. Do you think he will change overnight? He will continue to speak that lie. In the same way, we have been collecting the garbage, the information about everything in this world. Rape case, cheating, stealing, killing, money laundering, scandals, one country bombing the another, some community killing another community. We are filled with this information, and it is foolishness to think that these informations will not work on me. It will influence us, it will impress, it will influence, and definitely you will see the effect in our day-to-day life. So it is very simple from Bharata Maharaja's life. Just keep away from those information. That is why you would have never seen Prabhupada sitting and reading newspaper. If some devotees, disciples come and give him information, Prabhupada will say, okay, what do the rascals say? That's all. Prabhupada just wanted to know what does the rascals say. Just one line he will take and leave it. the informations will definitely affect us. So Bharata Maharaja completely kept himself away from this information. And he was only going behind that gyan that will give him realization. So in this way, Bharata Maharaja was traveling from one village to another, from one village to another, like a honeybee collecting all this knowledge. Then he was resting on roadside on top of a stone. He was sitting and resting for a while. His body was resting and his mind was contemplating on the subject. Amazing, huh? This mind is very powerful than the body. Mind can overcome sleep and hunger very easily. Imagine tomorrow you are going to meet your best friend or your relative or your daughter or son or wife after many years or something like that. You have been separated from them for last 2 years and you are going to meet them. You are going to pick them up at morning 8 o'clock or something like that. Or your daughter is getting married tomorrow, son is getting married or something like that. You will forget hunger and sleep. Because mind is so occupied with the subject, mind can easily win body. So naturally, many times we are just satisfying our mind, that is all. So because Jataparata mind was completely contemplating on spiritual matter, he didn't realize who is going, who is passing. A beautiful lesson from Bhagavatam 11th canto. Krishna says, Uddhava, you should meditate on Krishna, on me, like an arrow maker making arrows. Krishna is using this example from 11th canto. Like an arrow maker, a ironsmith, blacksmith. He makes, normal blacksmith, ironsmith, they can't do arrows. To make arrow, he has to be very precise, perfect to the minutesimal. Such a talented person only can do. It is like making watches, So the arrow should not be too heavy. The arrow should not be too light also. It should be perfect line, straight line, and it should have a particular distance, and it is heavily loaded with the tip so that the arrow can travel at a terrific speed to the particular goal and hit the goal. So the arrow maker has to be very precise. And 11th canto Bhagavatam says this. So arrow maker is making arrows in his place, in his on the roadside. He is sitting and making arrow, and a king with an entourage is passing by. King with his ministers and followers and all the assistants and band baja, bang, 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 and the king is going on the road. Such a big thing is happening on the road. This arrow maker is sitting on the roadside and he is completely focusing on that. He was not disturbed by the entourage of king. Krishna uses this example. That is the way devotee should be focused in Krishna consciousness, like an arrow maker. So here, Bharata Maharaja was contemplating so deeply, he did not realize the king is passing by. The king for two great, bigger regions. He was passing by Rahugana Maharaja and he was carried by, palanquin carriers. And suddenly one person was, I don't know, sick or whatever it is. They wanted a replacement. And they saw this man sitting there, Jataparata, very stout, well built, handsome looking, So they didn't even bother what he's a saint or a sadhu or a brahmana. They simply utilized him. They asked him to carry the palanquin. A beautiful lesson. A devotee has 26 qualities. Out of the 26 qualities, one quality of a Vaishnava is he is easily approachable.